Muy buenas gente, yo soy Alistair y vamos a continuar con la campaña de Vampyr. Vamos a darle un ratito. Recuerden que si les gusta no olviden dejar su like y un comentario. Estamos haciendo streaming en Twitch, les dejo el link abajo. Y nos quedamos en extorsión de Whitechapel. Sí, ya lo habíamos leído. Ah, no. Ya ni me acuerdo de los controles. Ocultarse. Ah, ok. Detalles. Ese no era este. Ok, todavía no sabemos pistas. Ok. Llega a extorsión de Whitechapel. Güey. ¿Qué pedo? Ok. Opio. Aquí también puedo robar algo, ¿no? Opio. Opio era una droga, ¿verdad? Grave. A nivel 18, a la madre. O sea, se supone que ese güey me puede romper el hocico bien bonito, ¿no? Ni siquiera me acuerdo de los controles. Vamos a ver. ¿Qué hubo, perro? No le hago nada, güey. RT, ¿qué era el RT? Ay, güey. Bueno, pues, perro. No le hago bajo nada a este cabrón. Pero, como bien dicen, con paciencia se levita. El elefante se la metió a la hormiguita. What? Acerca del reclutamiento de los nuevos muchachos de Whitechapel. Creo haber encontrado uno, Albi, una de las personas más estúpidas que he conocido. Pero es rudo, le pedí que me mostrara que podía conseguir drogas para el mercado negro y cumplió de la manera más rápida y eficaz. La próxima vez que nos reunamos le diré que lo aceptamos como muchacho de botas mojadas y que ahora debe conocer a los jefes para recibir sus órdenes. Nueva pista. ¿Dónde está este pedo? Aquí. Tenemos una pista, este güey. Ok. Nivel 12. Nivel 10, nivel 12. Este güey. ¿Me vieron? ¿Qué hubo, perro? Uf. El fuego hace un chingo de daño. Ese me lo llevé muy de gratis. Corre. Ok, a ver, tengo que recordar un poquito los controles. Acción del juego. Para morderlos necesitaba aturdirlos, ¿verdad? Y acá con eso los aturdía, ¿no? Okay. O sea, si el enemigo está muy cabrón, utilizamos la guadaña. ¿Es para allá o es para acá? ¿Qué pedo? A ver.
Doesn't like fire, does it?
Recuperamos tantita sangre. Ok. Pero es acá. Pero no es para allá. No escondiste. Esto no puedo hacer. Seguro se regenera 300 de salud. Ah, pero nomás puedo llevar 2. Pues vamos a hacer todo, ¿no? De algo nos tiene que servir. Ok. De hecho, estos güeyes están más... Esto era para subir habilidades, ¿no? Tengo 500, no creo que pueda subir nada. Bueno. Ok. Ah, no los puedo... Ah, sí, es cierto, no los puedo dejar. Bueno. Vamos. Vamos a ver qué hay aquí. Inversión mobiliaria abandonada. O sea, prefiero. Ciudadano a salvar. Cuidado, es posible que vean en peligro. Nos... Ve a revisarlo. Sería este güey es el que tengo que salvar, ¿no? Tengo que llegarlo. ¡Ah! ¡Uy! Verga, no me fijé en la vida. ¿En qué momento me bajaron tanto? También sido. Yo estoy en el inicio. Están estos dos. O sea, por aquí entré. Ok.
I cannot enter.
Ah, o sea, sí se da huevo por arriba, ¿no? Ok. ¿Qué hubo, perros?
Some damn strangers are attacking me!
No, espérense, perros. Espérate. Espérate.
Strangers are attacking me!
¡Ah! ¡Adiós!
Touch me with your disgusting hands!
Me van a caer las pinches. ¡Ah! Me cagan estos güeyes.
Strangers are attacking me!
Ay, güey. O sea, está muy largo su pinche ataque, ¿no? Dale.
Away from me! Touch me with your disgusting
Me lo da muy de gratis, güey. No mames. Ay, sí, sí. Está. Puta hueva. Ok. ¿Qué hubo?
What happened? Who are you?
It's all right, sir. You're safe now.
A fellow Englishman. Thank you, sir. For a moment, I thought those bloody heathens had killed me.
What are you doing here? This place is not safe.
Yeah, it's a cesspool, but it's mine. I came to collect some overdue rent. Those who still live here have gone completely bonkers.
You're very lucky to be alive.
Yeah, filthy immigrants. Fucking savages, every one of them.
Sí,
Now,
huevo,
this
inmigrantes,
bloody
¿no?
fever, they're just animals.
You can find safety of sorts in Whitechapel. If you're quick and cautious, you'll be able to avoid the savages.
Rescataste a un ciudadano. Regresará a su distrito la siguiente noche. No tengo para curar.
This is Braille.
Texto legible escrito en alfabeto braille. Con el solo título en alfabeto latino, cura para la ceguera. Cinco chelines. O sea, todavía están dos güeyes acá arriba. O sea, ese güey me lo pude haber chingado, pero pues no.
This is despicable.
En un momento.
If you spot one, fire. Over there!
Digo, si lo... Ay, güey. Este me aguantó un chingo. Ahí está.
Burning, does it?
Taran. Ok. Por aquí no hay nada. Es como muy limitado hacia dónde puedes ir. Y de aquí es el... Ah, no se puede por aquí. Y el 17. Esos güeyes están pesados. Espérate.
I have this thirst for blood.
Vamos a ver si puedo hacer... Ok. Esencia de clavo de olor para poder curar al otro güey. Ya con eso. Y vamos a ver si podemos subir algo. son pasivos. Perfecto. Ay, qué pendejo. A la noche siguiente. De hecho, lo que uno debería subir mucho son las pasivas.
This is despicable.
No, o sea, no puedo caerle así de... Pero pues, pero... ¿Qué hubo? A la verga. Corre, 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 corre. Vamos a matar al güey. Este cabrón. Ah. Espérate, cabrón. Ah. Malditos controles. A ver.
Look at it! I'll take it!
Ah, era este cabrón, ¿no? El que acabo de matar. ¡Ay, güey! Espérate. Pinche hijo de tu puta madre. Ah, te vas a ver.
I'll kill you!
Es que tiene demasiada aura esta madre. Ay, güey. Neta, qué mamada. O sea. ¡Ah, que la verga! Me está hartando un poquito esta madre. O sea, ellos sí me pueden pegar bien pinche de gratis, pero yo no. Neta, beso, güey. O sea, está muy de gratis esos pinches golpes de este cabrón. neta. O sea... No mames, o sea, esta cosa es todo más difícil que pinche hombre lobo, güey, qué pedo. O sea, está cabrón esos güeyes, Ah, de ahí vengo. Nivel 10. Es que cuando es uno, como que no hay tanto pedo, pero si se juntan, está muy cabrón por el sistema de combate.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Se ve asqueroso, güey.
Thirst for blood.
Pero bueno, así nos recuperamos.
It's locked, all right.
¿Y para dónde es? ¿O no era por aquí o qué pedo? Ah, o sea... Ah, cabrón. Se supone que era seguir el rastro de sangre... ¿Para allá? Ya me perdí. No, pues es... Es para allá. ¿Qué pedo? Gripe. Frecuentemente sigue por complicaciones a causa de neumonía. Para evitar cualquier caso de gripe español, no salga de su casa. O coronavirus.
The guards recruit more and more every year.
10, qué hueva. O sea, está como muy marcado el nivel.
This is my first trial.
¿Qué hubo, perros?
Best be on your way home.
No, ¿cuál era? Ahora este. Pues aquí ya no me haces nada, ¿no? No que sí, no que no. No que sí o no que no.
We have to stop it.
It's locked, all right.
¿Qué hubo, perro?
Bloody monster!
qué pinche alcance tiene esa madre. Ok, cuando se pone esa madre es como si trajera armadura. Y trae un chingo, ¿eh? Ya que ya le voy a entender esa madre. Eso, aguantar un putazo. Si realizas eso, o sea, trae un chingo de protección este güey. Ahí está. Ok.
Please open the door, sir. Fuck, he's fast!
Necesito 3 golpes para aturdirlo. Pero fíjate, lo aturdo, o sea, antes eran 3. Ah, que la verga. Y ahora se le va sumando. O sea, si lo aturdes mucho, se le van sumando. ¡Ah, su puta madre! Bestia grande. O sea, no es como el que me enfrenté. Sí, acá. Según yo, sí es para acá, ¿no? Sí.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Ok. Está muerto, ¿no?
Fuck you all! Fuck it all! Stop it now, Albert, stop it!
Oh, perro.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
This note was found on a dead man, Albert. If that doesn't change your mind, then you must be ready to face the risks.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else.
Que le valga
I'll
verga,
find
bueno,
another
pues muérete,
future
pues.
here.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything, it ain't me.
Yes, you did. And it was cowardly and inexcusable.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Ok.
Bloody hell, boy. What?
Shooting a boy.
Pensé que agarrarlo lo iba a poder hablar.
Best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
¿Por qué, carnal?
You don't seem well, Benjamin. Do you need any help?
I always feel ill, sir. It's like I'm never right.
Ah, para la migraña, pero no lo tengo.
I will see you later. Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
Ok.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy he just frayed me last nerve.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
Yes. Sounds like shell shock. I've seen a few cases like yours. This is nothing you should be ashamed of, Benjamin. And it's perfectly natural in your situation.
El
Not
trauma de la
ashamed.
guerra, ¿no?
I just need my pills. Peace and quiet, that's all.
Ok.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
Pues sí, ¿no?
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
Ah, es su hijo. Pues ya, ¿no?
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir.
O sea, no mames, ves este cabrón y dices, señor, ¿usted está bien? ¿Qué fue con el reflector? Pues para allá o qué.
Me? I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
Este güey está muerto.
When science fails you, this is you live again.
¿Qué hubo? Ah, morra mamona, ¿eh?
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Ok. Negocio. Ah, pues es vendedora, ¿no?
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Ok. ¿Cuántos tengo? Ay, no mames, tengo bien poquito. ¿Lo puedo vender? Armas y módulos. Es que no sé qué sirve, qué no. O sea, no sé qué chingados me conviene vender. Yo pensé que podría... Bueno, las armas allá no me las voy a comprar, ¿no? Ah, pues... Los anillos, aquí tengo otro. Pero me dice que este dice que perteneció a Clay Cox. O sea, por eso valía más. Esta valía 16 y esta valía 17, pero... me servía para algo. Bolso pequeño de cachivaches. Puede reciclarse en componentes. Ok. Ya tengo un poquito más de lana. Eso es lo que le acabo de vender. O sea, y te lo vende más. ¡Ah, la verga! Te lo vende bien puto caro, güey. Medicina. Medicina con la lista de ingredientes impresa en latín. Este artículo puede reciclarse en componentes. Vamos a probar el uso de medicina. Eso para frascos de vidrio. O sea, ya le compré su medicina.
Good evening,
Ah, ¿qué
my
pedo?
dear colleague.
¿Qué más me puedes decir? Requiere pista. Una figura local intrigante.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
Ok.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Nah, tú no.
You look ill, Miss Swanborough. I wonder if your concoction will do the trick.
I'm perfectly fine, thanks to my miraculous elixir. You, on the other hand, look pale and tired, Doctor.
Pálido se me hace que es lo último.
Goodbye, Miss Swanborough. Perhaps we'll talk again.
De hecho, está saludable. Aquí es donde está el otro güey. Vamos a investigar tantito más. Pensé que era una mesa de trabajo. Grasa, tornillo. Escucho toser a alguien. Pero este güey tiene que siempre buscar en la pinche basura.
It's locked.
Es un atajo. Pues vámonos.
When science fails you, this
People are talking about this colossus. Perhaps I should.
I cannot enter.
Que la chingada. Desconocido. Resfrío.
Good evening, sir. Do you remember me?
If you're here for a
cierto.
reward, you'll be sorely disappointed. But I'll gladly shake the hand of a fellow countryman.
I'm not here for a bounty. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed from the Pembroke.
A doctor? In Whitechapel? What an opportunity. My name's Bates. Cadogan Bates.
Do you require assistance, Mr. Bates?
Not me, but your skills could help a lot of people round here. That would help my business, because I say a live tenant's a paying tenant.
Tienes razón. ¿Qué voto?
Since I took an oath to help people, can I be of assistance?
Well, seen better days, that's for sure. But it was bound to happen with all these refugees about.
No tengo el tratamiento para el resfriado.
I will see you later. Goodbye, Mr. Bates.
Ay, ok. Por acá no hay ni madre, ¿verdad? Esta va a estar cerrada.
It's locked, all right.
Parece que no, pero está bastante grande el mapa. Y más que nada como no tienes una forma de viaje rápido.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now.
Pateala, güey,
for someone
pateala.
else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Bronquitis, güey.
Nearby.
40% de pérdida de calidad de sangre. Está viejito. Sí, pero...
I will return later.
Yo tengo que encontrar la manera de... Ahí está, Dorothy Crane. ¿Qué pedo? ¿Qué puso? Investiga las acciones del ciudadano. Ah. O sea, sí, güey. No, a ver.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me, just downwind.
It's locked. I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Uh-huh. O sea, el güey sabe mi nombre, le pudo haber dicho a la morra, oye, es el lector tal. Ah, está acá, déjalo pasar, ¿no?
It's not my cup.
Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Ah, personales. Nada. Estoy en Londres.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Do you need help, sir?
I only need you to purchase something from my shop, sir.
Ay. Bueno, no sé, creo que está saludable.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yes, she's a nurse, and quite a good one. What did she do to gain such notoriety?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that.
Es la misma chingadera, güey.
In the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Conseguimos una pista.
Right then. Show me what you have.
¿Qué es esto? Hay otro cabrón aquí, pero bueno. Ah, este güey se ve malote.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off.
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most.
Colossus.
And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Mamonson.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
O sea, este güey en sí es buena persona. Y ya.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
Este güey no me va a decir
According
mucho.
to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always
Mírame,
put my
güey,
opponent
soy
in
cholo.
the eye before knocking him out.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Ese es un padrecito. Allá está. No es cierto, es desconocido. Encuentra Clayton en el área. A ver.
Don't be shy, handsome.
Ay.
What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd
Échate
like
un
to ask you
palito,
a few
güey.
questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I usually get paid.
Sa huevo, no era putita. Vamos a ver qué más me dice.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crasionescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
Ah, de
You seem to
Romania.
respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Bueno. Ah, tengo su tratamiento para la fatiga. ¿La
Do you
curamos,
need
no?
any assistance, Miss Popper?
It depends on the price of your medicine.
No te va a costar.
I am shocked that you would think I am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
Recuperación.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work.
Si alguien te puede decir mucha
I am,
información, es
however,
una de
curious
estas.
as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
Vender su cuerpo fue su decisión. Bueno, no la
I
cosa.
always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly. But it is not your concern, Doctor.
Ah, mamonzona. Bueno.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Considering your
sea,
line of work,
esta madre ya está más contagiada de otra chingadera.
before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
Bueno, me arrepiento de haberte curado.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
¿Qué le pasa?
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son.
Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought myself.
Ay, qué hueva.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
Ah, cabrón, ¿por qué?
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients.
Ah, qué hueva.
It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
Ok, tú mereces morir. Y te voy a dejar morir. Adiós.
I've heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Si en mí está que vivas, vas a morir. Ese es el periodista, ¿no?
Excuse me,
Seguro.
sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Cerca de un dispensario médico clandestino. Su investigación en Londres.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs.
Y aparte eres negro. Porque pues en esa época se supone que eran todas desconfiados. Y el racismo pues siempre ha existido. Si le digo es confidencial, pues no me va a decir ni madres, tengo que compartirle algo para que hable conmigo.
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the Pembroke Hospital may be involved with unsavory activities.
Ah, could it be Dorothy Crane?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
Que la chinga.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Ok. Ah, yo hubiera sido el de la fatiga con este cabrón, güey.
He has no relatives at all? No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Okay.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand.
Okay.
We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
Pues no han cambiado mucho en estos tiempos.
And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
O sea, las cosas cambian, pero tardan mucho en mejorar.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
If no one stops it, this epidemic could turn into a scourge. It may kill more people than the war itself.
Yes, this is another kind of war, but just as deadly. History will judge us all for what we did and what we did not.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Ok, dijo que atrás de la iglesia. Hubiera usado la cura de la fatiga con este cabrón en vez de con la puta. ¿Qué hubo, perro? Ay, güey. Se me juntó el ganado. Salvado por la animación. ¡Ah! Chingados. Ah, espérate, pinche. Ah, maté a dos, perfecto. Ah. Ven. Ok. Leí cocaína y Cuarentena gripe. Mantenerse alejado de esta área según órdenes del funcionario de salud pública y de la Comisión de Salud. Ok. Un momento. Encontrar a los habitantes de Whitechapel. ¿Cubrebocas? ¿O no? Digo, había estos enfermos. ¿Y esos güeyes no se dan cuenta o qué pedo?
Oh, Camellia, the silent flower of Whitechapel. An angel made flesh, I tell you.
Hello?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Okay.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
Ah, ok. Ya por fin tenemos una pista de este güey. Ah, no, tenemos dos. En la mano derecha de la doctora es activista político rumano. Ah, es que el güey tiene bronquitis, ¿no? Círculo social, me falta un cabrón. Este güey está resfriado. Aquí ni siquiera sale la puta. O sea que no es un personaje importante de aquí. O sea, curé a alguien que no vale verga, se supone, ¿no? O sea, para mejorar esto, tengo que curar a los que están aquí, a los que son importantes. Ah, no, aquí está la puta. Recuperación. Ah, pues está ahí.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
No, ya me lo
Darius
dijo.
Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish
¿No puedo
my
saltarme
work,
esto?
but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane.
La grulla de Whitechapel.
Sounds very mysterious. But sorry, no, never heard of her.
Está mintiendo.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life. Full
Oh, sí, la madre, güey.
Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know.
Es muda.
She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Okay. Sí, está enamorada de Camellia.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
Mm-hmm.
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the arid hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about. And that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Ah, este güey. Este güey debió haber estudiado filosofía y letras.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Y luego encontrar el buzón y la carta. Rechazo del editor. Nunca logró tener éxito con la poesía. Ok. Ahí está Camela. Ah, pero es muda, güey. O sea...
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl on the street at night.
O sea, sí puede hablar, pero no habla o simplemente es muda.
But I mean you no harm, truly.
Sabes que es muda, ¿verdad? Me hubiera encantado checar un médico y no puede hablar. Sé que me entiende, cuéntame sobre eso. A ver.
Tell me about Richard Nethercott. I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia.
No puede hablar, idiota.
Camellia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it?
Pues... Ah, nivel 5. O sea... Tengo estas pistas. Tiene excelente salud. Ok.
Very well. Goodbye then.
Pues sí, ¿qué chingados hago? Espérate. A ver si no sigues para acá, ¿eh? Un pequeño ramo de flores de voucher y un pequeño médico gratuito escondido entre las flores. Darius Petrecu. Ah, esta es la carta.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Acá, ¿qué pedo? ¿Por qué puedo subir aquí si no hay nada? ¿Sabes?
I cannot enter.
Ahora tengo que regresar, ¿no? Ah, no. Toda esa no es la carta. Ah, cabrón. Todavía me sale encontrar el buzón y la carta. Bueno, es que lo encontré de un bote de basura, no de una... Ok. Corro, corro, me acelero para estar contigo y si no me muero. Ah, es este pendejo.
Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then?
Ah, este es el hijo.
Come on.
Como que no había caído en cuenta.
I'm Harry, by the way.
Sí, ya lo sé.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
¡No, pendejo! Ay, se me sale un gallo. No, a ver.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Okay. No tengo pistas.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick. She said I should go out more.
Ah. Oye, ¿estás bien enfermo? Deberías de salir más a la calle. ¿No estás contento? Pues obviamente no.
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine.
Este güey es fatalista.
I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough like... well, you know.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place.
Pues sí se nota.
It was my father's decision. And look around.
Ya se le nota un chingo a la vena.
Does this look like a nice place to live?
Harry tiene una contextura frágil y a menudo está enfermo. Harry nunca quiso vivir en Whitechapel. Ah, es de nivel 1. Este me lo puedo chingar. Y este es su círculo social. Situación solo puede mejorar. Su padre hizo lo mejor que pudo. Tiene un lugar que llama hogar.
You have a roof over your head, a place to call home. Many people here are not as lucky, you know.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father.
Ya le vieron los ojos. Están como amarillos, ¿no?
Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Bueno, de hecho es bastante lógico. Pues ya.
Goodbye, young man.
Podría matarlo, pero se supone que eso es, pues va a afectar más a todo este pedo.
Even my dreams are soaked with glue.
Voy a revisar tu casa tantito, Si encuentro algo bueno me lo voy a llevar. Es el precio por la plática. Y me quedo dormido en su casa.
It's locked.
Estimado señor Peterson, me debe informarle que hemos rechazado su postulación para un trabajo en el astillero. What? Ah, es un cazador de vampiros. La Guardia Pigwan, una organización premilitar. Ok. Esto está cerrado con llave. Adiós. ¿Quién es? Okay.
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again? Go away.
Se requiere nivel 2 de mesmerización.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
Te voy a meter un hachazo, pinche viejito mamón. Me lleva el dinero. Entra y lo primero que hace... Ahora venga, se me cae la pinche morralla. Ay, Dios. Ok, después leemos eso.
It's locked, all right.
¿Y dónde conseguir las llaves? Y el güey viendo cómo sacó su casa. De que este pinche rata. ¿Puedo hablar más con él?
If you want to talk to Dorothea, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your name and occupation, sir?
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea. And I also run this little print shop.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does she trust you?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I share many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you? Even if not directly, I fought against your enemies.
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
Cuéntame sobre su pasado político.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius. Tell me more about it.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life.
Homeland.
I will until my last breath.
Me acuerdo de esa serie.
Escaped the grasp of the
Si no han visto Homeland,
it's a free
chéquela,
country.
muy buena.
It's not the country I fought
Bueno,
for.
no me acuerdo cuántas temporadas son, pero las primeras dos, una o dos temporadas. Me acuerdo que llegó un punto donde ya está, no me gustó nada la serie. O sea, llega un punto donde es como lo que le pasó como con Prison Break, que creo que era la primera y segunda temporada estaban muy buenas y luego decayó y luego ya se desviaron un chingo de lo que era en sí la serie.
Goodbye, Mr.
Y al final, o sea, el final es muy bueno, bueno, a mí se me hace bueno, pero como que llegó una trama que ni al caso. Ok. Era en esa puerta, ¿verdad? ¿Cómo subo el nivel de esta madre? Porque luego me voy y ya no voy a poder abrirla, ¿no? Se supone. Había otra puerta. Esto. Ni tocas, puto. Estos no me dicen el estado de salud. Qué chido que estoy agarrando un putero de cosas. Se está muriendo ese güey. No, si está mi reflejo, hijo. No tengo reflejos, güey. Ay. Nueva pista y no sé qué dice. A la verga, ese güey se transformó, ¿no? Yo estoy agarrando todo, güey.
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Razvan Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
Pues tracotomía, ¿no?
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube.
O sea, cuando según yo, es eso, cuando como que no tienes tiempo de hacerle una anestesia,
Yes,
¿no?
doctor.
Y aparte en esos tiempos, pues que la necesidad de hacer un putazo.
But he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy. Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
No me cuestione, perra. A ver, ¿qué sugiere?
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, doctor.
O sea, traté de ser amable, pero como quiera, o sea... Es que ve sus ojos, güey. Le abrió el tórax.
He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
¿Y este güey se le va a antojar o qué?
Are you alright, Doctor?
I can't see.
Contrólate. Déjeme terminarlo solo. Debo saturar la arteria. ¡Ah! ¡Lo va a morder, güey!
I must first suture the artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor.
Ay, se hace que era epinefrina, ¿no? Era mejor. Bien.
What? Are you making this up as you go along?
¿Estás inventándolo? No, pendeja. Bueno, creo que sí. Se murió, ¿verdad? Verga. Se me murió.
We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could. Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
Ay, vieja
This was not
mamona.
an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
Yo creo que se tenía que morir a huevo. No sé si había manera de salvarlo.
I doubt you're here to test my bedside manners. I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
Ya tengo las 3 pistas. No puede continuar con esto. Esto es ilegal. Ah, okay.
I've come to put an end to this insufferable blackmailing, Dorothy.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
El fin justifica los medios.
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
No vas
Dr.
mejorando.
Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
O sea, es que, o sea, sí está bien lo que está haciendo porque pues si nadie los atiende, o sea, es bueno. Pero hacer chantaje y todo lo otro, pues tampoco. Entonces, si se tiene que matarla, vas a mandar a la fregada al distrito. De por sí está muy herido. Si la dejas, tiene que haber una manera en la que pues deje de hacer sus pendejadas, ¿sabes?
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Ah, cabrón, a ver. Perdonar, haré la vista gorda, pero debe renunciar. Encantar, se olvidará de todo esto. Apropiarse, terminaré con esto. Ahora, esto es matarla, ¿no? Que no es bueno. Esta acabamos de desbloquearla, o sea, nomás hubiéramos tenido estas dos opciones. Se supone que esto es por las pistas que encontré, ¿o qué pedo? Yo creo que se olvide de esta madre, ¿no?
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go.
A la verga.
All gone.
Es que al decir consecuencias, ¿estás de acuerdo que la palabra consecuencias es una palabra muy fuerte? De que el distrito pronto tendrá las consecuencias de tus acciones. Es como que... O sea, se escucha muy mal. Chupando el suelo, ¿no? A la madre. ¿Qué pedo?
Bloody leech!
Verga, me equivoqué botón.
Ooh, that's gonna be smart.
Una mordidita, carnal. Ya está. O sea, vinieron y mataron a los pacientes, güey, qué pedo. Ah, cabrón. Sí, güey, qué pedo con estos güeyes. Pinches. Pinches putas. ¡Ay, hijo de tu puta madre! Ven pa' acá. Pinche cachazo. Que la serie está. O sea, ¿y mataron al viejito, no? ¿Cómo lograron entrar estos güeyes?
Hello, Mr. Petrescu.
Hello, Dr. Reed.
No se dio cuenta de que entraron estos cabrones, ¿qué pedo? Entonces, ¿de qué sirves, güey?
Yes?
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
This district seems to get uglier every year. We'll distribute flowers this night.
Encontrar el buzón y la carta. No puedo seleccionar esta madre. Ah, bueno. Ok, no hay una manera de... Neta, no hay manera de viajar rápido. Ok. Uy, no es cierto. Me crashó el juego. Yo no puedo ni salir de aquí de la pantalla. Ah, que la madre. ¿Es neta? Ay, qué hueva, cabrón.